Costa Rica is of interest to scientists, geographers, and archaeologists. But most of all, travelers love it. It is a small country in Latin America with a varied natural landscape and a favorable climate. Tourists are interested in all the attractions of Costa Rica, including national parks and reserves, thundering waterfalls, and terrifying volcanoes. The journey takes place along fascinating routes, full of secrets and local flavor in which we will dive in now. Number 10, Manuel Antonio National Park. One of the must-see attractions in Costa Rica is Manuel Antonio Park. This is the oldest resort in the country, and it is rightfully considered the most visited. Tourists are attracted here, first of all, by the incredibly beautiful beaches. They are well-maintained, clean, and completely safe. A special feature of the local beaches is their snow-white sand, warmed by the sun. In addition, the water in Costa Rica is very clean and clear. Since the coast is surrounded by greenery, the beaches of Costa Rica are very convenient for families with small children. Families come here, and the tourism infrastructure allows this. Good access routes ensure an even distribution of passenger traffic. There are many restaurants of different levels in Manuel Antonio. In addition, here, like in any southern resort, nightlife is active. Bars and cafes are always ready to welcome guests. Music thunders from everywhere. Souvenir shops are found at every step, so tourists leave here with gifts and souvenirs. There are always a lot of people here, which determines the friendly nature of the local monkeys, of which there are many in the area. Funny white-faced animals literally stick to tourists, but feeding them is strictly prohibited. Number 9, Santa Teresa Beach. The beach is located in the southern part of the Nicoya Peninsula. This is one of the natural attractions of Costa Rica. The atmosphere of a tropical place from advertising posters seem to come from pictures to earth in this place. The snow-white sandy beaches are called the Pearl of Costa Rica, and this is true. The sand here is pleasantly white. It has extremely small fractions, so it is not for nothing that it is called silk. The water on the coast is very clean. This is carefully monitored by local services. Many tourists with children flock to this beach since the coast is sloping and the shallow water here extends far inland. In addition to its natural beauty, the beach is interesting because it has well-functioning tourist services. Experienced tourists call it civilized. There is a place to relax and have a snack. The access roads are in excellent condition. You can always hide from the scorching sun in the shade of spreading trees. For thrill seekers looking for what to see in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa Beach boasts year-round high swells. Surfing conditions here are excellent. Nearby is the small settlement of Malpay, where you can relax if you are tired of too many impressions on the beach. Number 8, Arenal Volcano. Arenal Volcano is active. It is interesting because it is located in a mountain with perfectly regular conical outlines. Nature has decreed that in the dark, the volcano is illuminated with neon longitudinal stripes. When an eruption occurs, the lava completely illuminates the surroundings. The height of the volcano above sea level is 1670 meters. Scientists suggest that the volcano's first eruption occurred 7,000 years ago and lasted for more than 30 years. Since then, explosive eruptions, extremely spectacular, have occurred here every few hundred years. Its last powerful eruption occurred in 1968 after an earthquake. Powerful lava flows erupted continuously for several days. They covered 15 square kilometers of terrain. Then 80 local residents and 10 rescuers died. Interestingly, after the 1968 eruption, several other craters formed near the volcano. The village, located on the mountainside, was completely destroyed. Currently, scientists periodically note the activity of the volcano. For example, in 2011, a smokescreen was recorded at the top of Arenal. Number 7, Corcovado National Park. The province of Punta Arenas is close to the Pacific Ocean. This is where one of the main attractions of Costa Rica is located, Corcovado Park. It is located on the OSA Peninsula. The park's territory is almost completely covered with wild forest. There has never been any cutting down of trees here, so the area is rightly considered a protected area. The flora and fauna in Corcovado are extremely diverse. The first settlers began to appear here only in the mid-70s of the last century. The park has been preserved in its pristine beauty. There are more than 500 species of different trees here. The famous 70-meter cotton tree located in the park has a diameter of 3 meters. The park will be interesting for those who are interested in ornithology. In particular, 400 species of birds can be found here, including several especially rare ones. For example, the population of red macaws feels at ease here. In addition, the rare glass frog is also an inhabitant of local forests. Among the mammals in the park, you can find ocelots and jaguars. Everyone's favorite sloths also live in Corcovado. In the park, to the delight of tourists, there are many monkeys. Number 6. La Fortuna Falls. Natural attractions of Costa Rica include La Fortuna Falls, located in the Arenal National Park. The waterfall is 75 m high, but the water flow is not wide, so there are always a lot of swimmers at the foot. In addition, the place has become a favorite for those who prefer picnics in the wild. The place where the waterfall falls is surrounded by large stones. A cool and very clean lake formed at its very foot. Interestingly, the waterfall can be admired both from below and from above. A narrow path leads up, and you can not only walk along it, but also ride a horse. Local residents are happy to provide this opportunity to tourists. The waterfall is used as a tourist infrastructure facility. At its base, there is an observation deck on top, giving travelers the opportunity to enjoy a fabulously beautiful view of the surrounding area. The site is safe. It is fenced with a strong mesh and stable railings. Number 5. Monteverde National Park. The province is located at an altitude of 1,200 meters above sea level in the Cordillera. For tourists, this area is attractive because of its forests, which are always shrouded in fog. In them, you can admire flora and fauna untouched by humans. Monteverde National Park has become a natural attraction of Costa Rica and one of the most sought-after destinations for popular ecotourism. This biological reserve is home to over 400 species of birds and 100 species of mammals. As for plants, there are more than 2,500 species here. There are hiking trails throughout the park that are invisible at first glance. They are laid through the thickets of the forest, so making your way through them is especially interesting. In addition, the park has several suspension bridges from which you can admire the treetops, which are always covered with gray clouds. Number 4. Cocos Island. Of all the uninhabited islands in the Pacific Ocean, Cocos is the largest. It is separated from the coast of the country by 360 miles. The fauna of the island is under protection. Since 1997, Cocos Island has been included in the list of UNESCO sites. Why is this natural attraction of Costa Rica interesting to tourists? Of course, lush jungles, making your way through which is a real adventure. In addition, the seabed near the island is dotted with volcanic rocks on which algae writhe intricately. It is noteworthy that gold played a big role in the history of the island. In the 16th century, the warriors of the Tawantinsuyu Empire were armed with swords made of real gold, and the central square of the main city on the island was surrounded by a huge chain, also made of precious metal. There is a legend according to which the disappeared gold of the Incas is hidden on this island. For example, August Gisler, a German explorer and founder of the colony on Cocos Island, searched for this gold for 20 years. However, his search was unsuccessful. Number 3. Poas Volcano. A great day trip from San Jose, Poas Volcano is an active stratovolcano with twin calderas filled with sulfur lakes. The volcanoes last erupted in 2019 and have actually erupted 40 times since 1828. The lakes are so still you'll look at your picture and think you painted the color on. Arrive early in the morning to avoid the clouds closing in and ruining the view. There are some small trails around the area, or you can take a tour with Destiny Travel, which costs around $160 USD and includes a visit to the La Paz Waterfall Garden and a local coffee plantation. Number 2. Tortuguero, which means land of turtles, is the Costa Rican version of the Amazon rainforest. It dominates the northern coast, with Tortuguero National Park spanning over 77,000 acres. This massive area is a series of rivers and canals that crisscross the jungle. The biggest draw to this area is the large number of turtles, hence the name, that come to nest along the shoreline. The best time to see them nesting is in April and May, but if you're visiting during the off-season, you'll still be able to go hiking and participate in canal cruises. However, there's lots of wildlife to see year-round. If you want to get off the grid, you can take a 3-day guided tour of the national park with Destiny Travel Costa Rica for around $500 USD. Number 1. Chirripo National Park. The park is located at an altitude of 3,820 meters above sea level. Staying in the park is very comfortable. There is always a pleasant coolness here. The nature in the park is diverse, but tourists are most attracted to dwarf trees. Translated, the name of the park means eternal waters. It comes from several mountain lakes scattered throughout the park. The only way to get to Chirripo Park is on foot. The path is safe, but the journey is long and tiring. However, after crossing it, you will be able to admire the sunrise over the Caribbean.